going on, Supercar fans? Back again doing another episode for you guys, and today is the Sandown 500 recap. It was a very good weekend of racing. There was a lot of rain and a lot of slick tyres, and it was just, no one knew what was happening with the weather, and it was just crazy. But I'm just going to get straight into it today. It was very good. It was a very good race, actually. Not much happened at turn 6 this year, which was actually quite good. There was a couple of safety measures that took place during the time of last year and this year. Not that many people went off. I think James Courtney was the only one that did go off, that had severe damage. He went off in the grid race 2 thing. So I'll just explain this for after I finish this part. Courtney went into turn 6 and his front right wheel just embedded itself into the tyre wall, which was amazing because I've never actually seen that happen before. So yeah, that put him out of the race for grid 2. Now, with the race for grid stuff, what happens is that they do a qualifying session. I think it was like half an hour or something like that, or somewhere around that much. And it's just main drivers. And then what happens is that they whack... Where they qualify there, you're going to have to bear with me with this. Where they qualify there is where they start the race for grid 1. So the qualifying results end up being their position on the race for grid 1. And then they do that race, and then wherever they finish... the co-drivers do that race. Then wherever they finish, the race for grid 2, that happens, and the main drivers jump back in, and then that is your qualifying for race 3 of the weekend, which is pretty much the race of the weekend. So there's 2 qualifying races to go for the main race, and it was actually really interesting. It was dry for the first one. It was really dry. Obviously, the co-drivers started first. It was dry, and they're all out on slick tyres. And about halfway through, roughly, there was about 20 laps each race. About halfway through, it started raining, and I think the top 10 stayed out on slicks, and went through it all. And teams like Red Bull and Triple Eight, they all came in, got wet tyres, which was a gamble. You would think that being on slick tyres in the rain is a gamble, but actually being on wets was a gamble, because it literally, as Mark Scaife said, I have never seen the weather turn itself on and off as quickly as what it did. So some of the drivers came in, got wet tyres, and they were out of contention straight away. The drivers that stayed out were like James Moffat for Chaz Mostert. You had Aaron Russell. You had Alex Premer. You had Bambar racing for Triple Eight with freaking Red Bull with Shane Van Gisbergen, Richo. There was a few others. I can't really remember everybody, but with about 5 laps or something to go, Aaron capitalised. James Moffat went wide at turn 3, and who was it that was behind him? Corley Jones kept bumping him off, and that put them out. Not out of the race, but it just put them out of contention for a front row. And then Aaron Russell on slick tyres ended up winning the first race. So that was absolutely awesome. A fellow Newcastle person winning it, and he was stoked. His emotion through it was just absolutely awesome, and big congratulations to Nissan Motorsport for taking out that one. So that put Andre Heimgardner in a pole position for the second race, and Andre didn't really have a best start, ended up going down a couple of spots at the start of the race, and Luke Yulden capitalised and ended up taking out that race, and that was the race that James Courtney ended up embedding his tyre into the wall at. So that was race for the grid 2. It was dry that day. It was dry the second one, so it was all right. And then on Sunday we had who was on pole? It was Paul Dumbrell. No, it wasn't. Was it? Yeah, it was Paul Dumbrell. No, it was David Russell and Luke Youlden, and Paul Dumbrell and Jamie Whincup started second. That's right. And as soon as it went green, most of the drivers started their co-driver in. So Paul Dumbrell at the start just flew, absolutely took off. At the end of the first lap, I think he was like 2.5 seconds clear, and that just kept ticking over and over and over. And at the end of his stint, he ended up being 16 seconds in front of the whole field. And then once Jamie jumped in, all he had to do was pretty much just drive it home. And then, it was crazy. So a lot happened. Aaron Russell got in the car and got turned around by, who was it? Can't really remember now. Someone turned him at turn 1, and which was sad because knowing that they had a quick car and whatever else, they ended up going back down into the grid and ended up finishing well above what they had planned. And the big story is that the ZB Commodore is just, well, apparently, the ZB Commodore aerodynamically is just absolutely crazy. It is so quick in a straight line and whatever else. So it's going to be very interesting once they go up Bathurst and whatever else, which is now the next race, thank God. And can't wait for that. But Jamie Winker, there wasn't really much to really focus on, even though it was 161 laps and 3 hours. There really wasn't that much to talk about. Who ended up? There was a couple of them that ended up spinning out and whatever else, and then regaining. Who was it? Simona Di Silvestro lost her engine. Didn't lose her engine, but lost engine power and the engine shit itself. What else? Lee Holsworth and Jason Bright ended up having a terrible week. They ended up finishing 25th for the whole week, so it was just not a great weekend for them at all. Luke Youlden and David Reynolds ended up going really, really well in the second race. They struggled a little bit for grip at first and then ended up finding their edge towards the end. That was the same for Winterbottom and Dean Canto. But the Shell cars, they were just running terrible. They were so bad, and sadly enough too, because one of those cars were in contention with the title, and now in the Enduro, well, not even then. Eastern Creek was the first signs of him struggling, and ever since Taylor Bend and now Sandown, Scotty Mack has been struggling massively. So we'll see if Shell can turn it around really quick. For Bathurst, hopefully they do, and hopefully we can see another 203. That would be really good. I'm predicting it now, people. That we'll see another 203 up at Bathurst, so that would be really interesting. What else happened? Like I said, not much actually really happened during the race. It was very clean all the way through, but it was a Red Bull and Triple Eight domination. It was absolutely insanity. I think by the time they finished, Jamie was 26 seconds in front. No, that was with 10 laps to go. He ended up finishing about 6 seconds in front of SVG, and SVG was like 13 seconds in front of Lowndes, and then Lowndes finished, and then they Scotty Mack was on the back straightaway when Lowndes finished the race. So it was like, that's how far away it was and whatever else. But by the time, I know that there was a safety car, because there was at lap 12, Paul Dumbrell had already overtaken 3 people, which is quite amazing for Sandown standards anyway. And I can't remember who actually spun or had to get the safety car to pull him out. I'm not actually quite sure. I don't know. But it might have been Lee Holt. It might have been Jason Bright, actually. I think it might have been Jason Bright. Because what happened, that was really weird too, because usually they're supposed to have like a minimum of like 34 laps or 56 laps or something. I know it's 56 laps at Bathurst, but whether or not it's the same for Sandown, I'm not sure. But Jason Bright did his stint, ended up putting it in a sand trap, and then Lee got in the car for a couple of laps, parked it in the garage, and then Jason Bright got back in the car and finished the race. So it was like Jason did so much on Sunday, and Lee just chilled and relaxed. Had a good time in the thing. But no, it was a very, very good weekend. It was really, really good. Really fast too. Like it was super quick. Mind you, I had a list of stuff to talk about, but it was like 3, 4, 5, 6 things. So it wasn't really that much, and I can actually remember all of them now. And my short memory is actually really good today. So, no, but all that, it was actually a really, really good race. Like I said, Jamie Whincup and Paul Dumbrell ended up taking the first race of the Enduro Cup. Shane Van Gisbergen and Earl Bamber, that's his name, got second. And Craig Lowndes and Stephen Richards got third. And that has now put Shane Van Gisbergen 55 points clear of Scotty Mack in the championship. And Jamie is still like 338 points behind. Now, I'm not sure if you guys know, but Scaife and Ingle actually have a little bet going on where if Jamie ends up winning the championship, Mark Scaife has to wear a T-shirt at the end of the year saying "I love the Enforcer," and if if Jamie doesn't win, it doesn't actually particularly say that Scotty has to win the championship. But if Jamie doesn't win the championship, then Jamie wins, then Scaife gets "I love the Enforcer" because he was against it. And then if Jamie loses, because Russell was against him winning the championship, Russell has to wear a shirt saying "I apologize for Sandown, Eastern Creek." Sorry, I apologize for the Eastern Creek thing. So, or trying to kill you at Eastern Creek or whatever it was. So that's actually quite good. So, but being 338 points still behind, there's only a couple of possibilities that Jamie can do this. He can finish every single race until Bathurst to Newcastle in first. That can happen. It's happened before. Another possibility is that because these enduro races are 300 points each. Now he's only 338 points behind. So if Shane Van Gisbergen and Scott McLaughlin do not finish the Bathurst 1000 and Jamie Whincup wins, then Jamie is only 38 points behind, or something like that, 38 points behind Shane Van Gisbergen. And it actually put him in front of Scotty Mack. Then if he wins the Surfers Paradise races, he will then be leading. But it has to make sure that Shane Van Gisbergen and Scotty Mack do not finish. It's very unlikely because it's been a very long time since Scotty Mack has not DNF'd in a race, and the same with Shane Van Gisbergen. It's been a long time. We haven't seen them to DNF in any races so far this year. Jamie has at Adelaide. That was actually quite surprising. It was the first race in like 300 and something races or whatever. So, yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Those are the possibilities for Jamie Whincup to actually recapitalise and get back into the championship fight, is that if Shane Van Gisbergen and Scotty Mack do not finish Bathurst and Gold Coast. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens. I personally don't think it's going to happen, and I hope it doesn't, because, you know, as much as I love Lee Holsworth, I'm actually going for either David Reynolds or Shane Van Gisbergen for the 1000 this year, which is going to be very, very weird to support people I don't actually go for. So it's going to be very interesting as well as that. So that's pretty much it, guys. I'm going to upload this, and then I'm going to do another video tomorrow for the Bathurst plan. So stick around. I will make sure that you hit the reminder button, the little notification thingy, to let you guys know that that video goes up as well. This video hopefully will go up tonight, not tomorrow, because I'm sick of it having to friggin'... it's so annoying when they delay my the video because of internet problems and fucking whatever else. So apologies for the swear word, but you get that. But guys, that's pretty much the Sandown recap. I hope you enjoyed it. Please hit that like button if you did. Share it around so you know that, yay. I met someone this morning who actually subscribed to my channel, and they are going to be watching because they actually hit that little the notification button. So yeah, that's actually really, really cool. I'm up to 60 subscribers now. That's awesome. Not really care. I don't really care how many subscribers I have, as long as you guys are enjoying the content that I'm giving you and whatever else, and you're showing your love and support for the channel. That's really all that matters. But guys, that is pretty much it. Hit that like button, dislike it if you want, don't mind. Comment down on anything. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification to make sure that you get these videos straight away. And I shall see us all tomorrow for the Bathurst plan and whatnot. Before I do go, I've only got a certain amount of time left because my battery on my phone's going to die and I don't really want it to die while I'm recording. My car is unlocked. Well, Dad's car is unlocked. I'm actually using Dad's car. There's the license plate number. You're not allowed to see it. But I don't know. What are you doing out here? Cat's outside. It's a bit odd. She's never out here. Alright, whatever. But I've already packed for Bathurst, kind of. I'm taking the speakers up with me. Remember I showed you them. And please don't die, phone. Check this out. All ready. All ready to go. We're just waiting for Hope's stuff to go in, I guess. But guys, like I said, hit the like button, dislike it if you want, comment down, subscribe if you're new, and I shall see you all tomorrow.